Welcome to the Operatory podcast, the podcast about burying the dinosaurs in dentistry, moving past outdated technology and procedures to find a better way. I'm your host, Dr. Bryan Laskin. Super excited today to have two amazing visionaries on the podcast today. We have Damon Liesse, who's sort of the technology wizard at DSG, and the CEO himself, Lou Azzara, amazing visionary behind the coolest group of dental laboratories on planet Earth, Dental Services Group. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm super excited to have Lou Azzara, who is the CEO of Dental Services Group, and Damon Liesse, who is kind of the master of all technology over at DSG. Thank you so much for joining me today. Very much appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Laskin. What a privilege and honor to be, and particularly with you. There is not a single position out there that Chief Innovation Officer exists in a service organization, and well-deserved, well-earned. Our conversations of recent really have helped enlighten me personally and our entire team of what's possible through technology. What's exciting for me is to be a part of a team with Damon and so many other talented people on this journey. And what I know we share in this, what's exciting right now in dentistry, maybe catalyst from COVID and the pandemic that we've all endured, is the fact that we're fast forwarding dentistry and dental health care and really investing not only in technology, but into technology and our own behaviors and how to utilize it. And what we're seeing is just mountains of creativity and new ways to connect, new ways to enhance our manufacturing. I'm really excited to share about this and be here with you today.
Oh, likewise. Yeah, and I've used DSG Labs pretty much my entire career, and I think dentists out there might probably see that that their lab is a DSG lab, and it's been just super exciting for me to get to talk with you a little bit and just understand the commitment that you have to progressing the restorations and really augmenting how you talk about it, this sort of patient dentist interaction, where you recognize that you really are looking to just enhance that, which is, it's, as a dentist, it's just beautiful to hear. So could you kind of talk, you're explaining very eloquently to me about it in a way that if I say it, I'll just mess it up. So could you just kind of describe how you view technology and DSG's role in dental care?
Yeah, I'm really excited to share that, and certainly a lot of what I share is what I learned from leaders like yourself and Damon and our team, and I get to be a privilege of being a part of it. But what we see is we've been in a CAD/CAM automation process for about 15 years now, but primarily on the back end, manufacturing, milling, printing, digital designs, and that's been exciting. But there's been this missing component where on the front end, that experience still is primarily analog and difficult to scale and dependent on one-to-one relationships, which we don't want to eliminate. That one-to-one, what we would like to do is enhance that moment. And when you think about it, dentistry starts on this very intimate moment. You're within 3 feet of one another, a patient, a dentist, a dental team. That moment in time is really what dental healthcare is. We may aggregate it, and we may speak about big numbers, what daily production was, how many cases, but ultimately you de-aggregate it again to that specific case. And that knowledge, that information, that understanding of RX and the understanding of the doctor's preference and what their vision is for the case has to be replicated in manufacturing. And where we are excited about and share the same vision is that we believe through technology we can enhance that moment. that intimate moment, we could be a part of virtually. We could be another team member and help the dentist and the dental team at that very moment. And then precisely, not a little bit, but precisely translate the doctor's vision into that denture, that implant, that zirconia or crown, as precisely as they envision it at that moment. And really, in order to do that, it's not going to be just education. It's not going to be that we have to continue in those methods, but you have to be able to enhance that. It's only going to come through virtual reality or augmented reality that we're going to be able to do that. And I'm privileged to work with someone on like Damon, who not only has the vision, and we share this same vision of enhancing that intimate moment and supporting practices, but also the knowledge base and the team around them that can take advantage of what exists and build that blueprint, that collaborative blueprint.
I think it's beautiful. It's purely looking for what I think every dentist wants. Like, I think every dentist has been there where you're doing a case. Maybe it's been 2 years since you've done a similar case, or maybe it's been, you've never done that case before. And the first thing you think about is like, it's just unease, right? And having your lab technician sort of there with you, who just completed one yesterday, right? Is vitally important. And the tools that we have today have been getting better through, like what you mentioned, CAD CAM and stuff. And so, I mean, Damon, do you have thoughts as to kind of what, or advice for the dentist listening when they have that case where they're like, I need to reach out to my lab technician and I need help? Tips for our audience is how to do that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Dr. Laskin. And what we get asked the most, I think, for us is a consistent quality product and delivered in a timely manner on time, and with with an open communication. And really, what digital does for us is it allows us to, in the manufacturing process, especially moving into 3D printing, where a lot of our manufacturing is moving, which is it's actually making the restorative components and all of the things that we manufacture more affordable, and giving the doctor a more consistent product. That's something that that we would really like to. We're continually looking at into the future where that's going. And then as far as on-time delivery and even shorter delivery, digital does that as well for us within the milling or within the 3D printing. And so we look at that as our focus on the manufacturing side, but communication really is the key. And what communication tools are available today and what we see in the future. And, working with different platforms like Zoom, looking at, different platforms in virtual reality, how we can be chairside through team viewer sessions, so that with not only the guidance of the doctor and the patient there, that we can be part of that case planning, that we can maybe see things that maybe the doctor's not seeing, or we can be utilized for advice. And we continually look at different opportunities in digital where we can connect more with the doctor, to the point that we're their chairside. And that's ultimately what our goal is within digital. So those are kind of the three areas that we look at. It's the consistency, quality of the product in a timely manner, and also where we can communicate better, and looking at platforms that we build off of. And it's really a full ecosystem. And for us, when we look at an ecosystem, it's really what is the most open architecture. And I think open architecture to us means that we can work with different multiple technologies that will interact and work together, and that aren't closed off into one lane or another lane. Because working with an open architecture system allows us to cross over into other ideas that are out there, other technologies that are being developed. For example, working with artificial intelligence has been a big part of what we're working with right now. And what that can do for us, for the doctors, for diagnosing patients, looking at patient records and looking at what we can do on our side with design and looking at the things that we can enhance with quality controls. And so it's really taking all those things and looking at an open architecture ecosystem and creating that for the future of where we think dentistry is going.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I've been sort of involved with CAD/CAM dentistry from sort of relatively early on, and I remember, 18 years ago thinking, boy, this is moving fast, and that rate of change has been just exploding exponentially, but the adoption has lagged, right? And so I think that what you are doing is really elevating, helping elevate dentists' quality of care by, in large part, helping them adopt technologies, right? Because by having that open architecture and working with dentists, wherever they are, you can meet them at that pace, and then help bring them forward, right? I think it's what you guys are doing is it's fantastic. I think it's phenomenal for patients. Makes it easy for dentists to. They don't even know the technology that you guys. It's like it's the magic box they send the case to, and in some respects they're benefiting from that. But then they can also play at whatever level they want to too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with where we see things going in the future, that the more that a doctor adopts the technology, we see a change in their practice. Excuse me. From when we move things through the digital highway, it moves faster. And when we move things through the digital highway, with the intraoral scanners today, they're so accurate and so predictable. And if we find that there's something that could be an issue, we can dial it in very quickly, find root cause, and address that and make changes. And there's so much communication that we didn't have in the analog world, that as we move into the digital world, it opens up our dialogue, and it opens up opportunity to continually improve and grow. And we see that whenever more doctors start to adopt digital. And that doesn't mean that the clinical fundamentals change. There's still good retraction. There's still all the things that are there for giving a good impression. But there are things that are made easier and more predictable. And within our system, when we see what we do in the digital world and the accuracy, it's one of our lowest remake areas compared to analog, where there's so many variables, because we're taking out a lot of the variables. And when we eliminate more of those variables, whether it's a technician who touches it maybe 4 or 5 times versus a technician that touches it 1 or 2 times, then we can get more predictability and a consistent product that the doctors are very happy. And of course, ultimately, we're serving the patients, and it's better patient care in the long run. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think that every time I update my intraoral camera system, it's like every time I get a new TV. It's like that anchor that you thought was really attractive. It's like, whoa, maybe not so much, right? That prep that you had with the last system, it's not, the prep hasn't changed, just the ability to see the flaws has elevated, right? And I think that's interesting. And that's going to only, I think of the aesthetic case where even sending the patient to the laboratory is probably not going to be as good as being there chairside with the dentist to plan out that aesthetic case, right? I mean, I think what the ability to consistently produce restorations and the communication, like you talked about, those 2 things is really one, right? I mean, that's really one. I mean, obviously you can't prep the tooth for the dentist, but the communication, the consistent results from your perspective kind of come down to the quality of the communication. Do you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. And I think that's probably where being chairside is going to be the most valuable is on these larger, more comprehensive cases, whether it's a full implant arch case or it's a advanced cosmetic case where there's certain line angles that may need to be adjusted or preps that need to be changed slightly to give the result to the patient. And I see that's where we'll probably be chairside more and be there as a consultant and working together to give the best results to the patients. And you hit it. That's exactly where it's at.
That's great. And Lou, I mean, you could do many things with DSG and focus on, you don't need to go to the next version. You don't need to progress the dentistry forward in the way you are. So where do you think the passion comes from within DSG to actually innovate to this level?
Boy, that's I mean, you have to really reflect, because I think for the team that I'm around, it comes so naturally. Like, progress is just in their DNA. And we have to your point though, that we have an obligation and to deliver on what's here and now with the tools that are available, whether it's analog impression or digital impression. People count on us, and we want to earn the right to support practices in their journey. But with that said, we also feel highly motivated to invest in what tomorrow will be, and to be in front of that, and to partner with doctors and leaders like yourself that are visionary, and be on that cutting edge, which within 12 months will be the standard. And there's a bigger picture to that too. And dentistry, I'm so proud to be part of the dental healthcare system. And I know we're biased, right? Because we live it and we see it every day, and you see how you've influenced patients and changed their lives. But I believe the pandemic actually raised the importance and the significance of what dental healthcare is. Didn't increase it. It was always increased, but I think there's acknowledgement, because if we want to be preventative in the things that we do, and the pandemic, certainly one of the lessons is be in front of this and be aware. There is nothing more preventative than taking care of your health care, and there's nothing more powerful than dental health care when it comes to that. And that moment in time, and think about it, if we could utilize technology like you do through Opera DDS, and if there's one patient out there that needs treatment but is uncomfortable for anxiety reasons, for other reasons, and does not seek that treatment, that compromises our entire ability to build the pie. And if we could address those things through technology, if we can help enhance communication where every case is predictive, where the vision that the clinician has is recognized each and every time, I mean, that's an investment we will always make. And that's an exciting journey to be a part of. I'm really so honored to have this relationship with you, and to be, to get led by you and innovative thinkers like Damon, that will help us all recognize a better world.
Well, I don't know. I mean, your passion for dentistry, your commitment to practices, both Damon and Lou, is inspiring, and I thank you so much for sharing it with the audience. I mean, I'm left a little awestruck when I think when thinking about like the dental laboratory. I just haven't run into other organizations. There's not that many organizations in dentistry that have that passion that you guys do. So I very much appreciate it. How can dentists who are listening to the podcast learn more about DSG and get involved?
Well, I think, of course, our websites, we have 35 local laboratories across the country, and certainly could reach out to me or Damon directly. if there's things of interest or if we have kindred spirits and our equal passion about dentistry. And we welcome any innovative thoughts. Damon will share with you that I stack his calendar with a lot of great thinkers out there.
Right.
And this was what makes us better. Dr. Laskin, you have put us on a path that we felt like we were going in a certain direction. And I think you've helped us redirect some of that and enhanced our knowledge base.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Damon, very much for being on the Operatory. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Doctor. What an honor.
Thank you.
Make sure to connect with DSG on dentalservices.net. DSG is also a great resource for education. They offer weekly complimentary CE webinars. You can find the schedule of upcoming courses at dentalservices.net/edu, as well as past recorded content. Also, be sure to tune in to the DSG Connect podcast on Apple or Spotify and follow them on Facebook or LinkedIn.